Hello OCF, Video Student Leader Thomas Retzios here, and today we're going to be doing another installment in our series on Byzantine Chant. If you haven't seen part 1, we'll link it on screen somewhere, and I highly suggest you watch that, then come back and watch this one. But we're still sitting down with Father Niko Tzetzis, so let's hop back into that. For a chanter or a choir, is it freestyle? Is it they go up there and they're like, give me the mic? Or is there like a method to the madness, kind of?
There is most definitely a method to the madness, and it should not be freestyle. Even things that are freestyle, so to speak, right? Epistle and gospel readings. There's no music. I mean, I'm not pulling up Byzantine music and reading those from Byzantine music. The epistle and gospel lesson, those still have form. There is still a specific style that is traditionally used. I don't want to say supposed to, because that's debatable. But there's a style that's traditionally used. It's simple. And it basically keeps everything between a few notes. Beyond that, when we actually go into the tones, there is usually, or there's often, music that is now written. Before was just passed down by oral tradition, but now is written in notation that accompanies those pieces, so that any of these longer pieces, especially when you hear these long, especially after a chanter sings glory to the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, typically that's your, when you hear them start a piece slowly with that, as lay people, that's your signal that this one is going to be a long one. It's going to be one of these doxastika, these longer hymns here. And they're written. I mean, I have a book, I have multiple books in the church that in Byzantine notation tell me note by note what to chant. They give me some space for interpretation, but in nowhere are they freestyled.
It brought up something that I know is very core to Byzantine chant, which are the different tones, which I've heard different things. First, we should probably explain what tones are, and then how many there are, and what is the history about them? Because I even really don't know still.
Yeah, and the best way to put it is they're like your different scales, so to speak. In Byzantine music, we're not going to talk about things in terms of major, minor, diminished, etc. We're going to talk about these 8 tones in particular, these 8 different modes, these 8 different characteristic scales with accompanying melodic formula. And what it means is that each of those 8 modes has a specific sound that's different from the others. They're kind of broken into two sets of 4, right? So first, second, third, and fourth, and then plagal first, plagal second, plagal fourth. I skipped plagal third because it's not called that. It's called varis, or grave mode. And you have these 2, they almost exist in parallel, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plagal 1, 2, varis, and plagal 4. To the trained chanter, the short answer is they're all very different, and they all have their unique sounds, and they all kind of carry their own feelings and connections with feasts. And when you hear one of the canons, some of the canons of the church, some of these longer composed pieces of multiple sections, when you hear one of those in first mode, your mind's going to go, oh, it sounds like either Christmas or it sounds like Easter. To a chanter, when I hear that, I'm like, oh man, it's getting close to Christmas time. Here comes the Katavasias, the canon for Nativity. We're going to chant that on Saturday. It's in one of those 8 modes, and when I hear it, it's like, yeah, here we go. We're on that journey. So those different tones carry those different emotions, different sounds.
Yeah, it's kind of like how in church the smell of incense, like what you're saying, the smell of incense brings you back to church. The different tones and the different seasonal calendar date bound tones and chants bring you back to certain feast days and holidays.
It's the same as our ears otherwise, right? If you hear, okay, we're past November 15th. I think I'm able to talk about it now. But Christmas music, right? If you hear Jingle Bells and you hear Oh Holy Night, they're both Christmas songs, though they're very, very different in their sound. But they both kind of bring you to the place of like, oh yeah, those are associated with what? Christmas. We associate them with Christmas. If you hear Jingle Bells in July, it's going to be off-putting. It's not going to be, you're going to be like, this doesn't make sense. This is not the right time for it. But when it comes to the right time, when Halloween is past, right? If we're just talking about our American calendar, our cultural calendar, when Halloween is past, all of the Halloween decorations come down and up go the Christmas decorations. It's now appropriate for these songs to be heard and sung and the rest. Same applies in the church. The different tones are just different ways of communicating different themes.
Once again, huge thank you to Father Niko Tzetzis for sitting down and doing this series with us. Check back in the coming weeks for more content in this series, and hope you all have a great week. Thank you so much. Have a great day.